was like, whoa.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is. This episode is presented by Underdog. If you're new to Underdog, today's the day. Get $75 in fantasy bonus entries when you play just $5 on fantasy with code It Is What It Is. So Underdog is available right now in most states, including Florida, Texas, and California, just to name a few. Make sure y'all support the show, hit that subscribe button, lock in your bonus, and start playing today with code It Is What It Is. I'm Treasure Wilson, aka Stat Baby, along with your host Cam. Mase will be back. And y'all, today we got a special guest. Today we've got Nick joining the show.
Yo, Nick, my nigga, yo, Nick. You can't even say your name without people saying, yo, Nick.
Hey, yo,
Yo, that's a fact. Yeah, that's going to be paused with me forever now.
There you go. What's happening, man?
Good. I'm cool, man. I'm excited to be on the show finally during football. You had me doing NBA Summer League that one time, but or when the Giants blew a 30-point lead. I see how it is. It's cool, man.
All right, well, yeah, man, it's Diversity Week, man. Right after Martin Luther King birthday, we bring you right on, man. It's how we do up here. One day right after Martin Luther King birthday, you on the show, man.
Honored. I'm honored.
How it goes. Well, I'm glad you're excited because, you know, there's a half of a fan base who isn't so excited. So we're going to start with this college football game. Indiana are your college football playoff champions after beating Miami 27-21. Nick, gonna let you go first. What was your opinion on the game and then the special ending that we saw?
I'll be honest. I feel like I'm going to take a page out of Cam's book and say you should go first on this one and have you express your feelings because I know you're not happy this morning.
Love that. Okay, so first and foremost, because I've already got the texts, I've already got the DMs, I've already got everything. For those who are wondering, no, I was not at the game. Unfortunately, I got sick. So now I'm sick literally physically and mentally. So before y'all start trying to call me the jinx, maybe I should have forced through my sickness and be there for a little bit of a good luck charm if that's what we're going to roll with. It's interesting because y'all know my thoughts about Carson Beck, and I did give my apology to Carson Beck. And of course, we saw how the game came to a close in the final seconds with an interception, which so many things there. It's like, okay, Carson Beck, you're seeing the receiver under double coverage. It's like, why are you throwing the ball? But then also a receiver, like you're supposed to look back. There's just so many things there. And then there's just a lot of unfortunate plays throughout the game. Like even Indiana being able to recover the ball and then make a touchdown in the end zone. And then boom, that worked for them. And then our kicker missing a kick. It was just so many things that were just like slightly falling apart. But overall, like, yes, I'm upset, but I still think it was a good game. I'm happy it didn't end like how one of our Steelers games ended because that was pretty rough. But I think that I do see still a lot of upside on Miami's team and that we do have a lot to look forward to. It was dope seeing it played in Miami again. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to be there, but I'm still going to support the U through and through. And then I want to give a big shout out to Malachi Toney. He is a beast. I felt like he was literally leaving his all on the field and doing everything that he possibly could. So it was dope to see that. Shout out Malachi Toney. Shout out even just the Canes for like getting to where they are, but definitely wish that we could have got it done. But on the flip, I will give Indiana its credit. I'm a little nice. Their QB is tough. I ain't gonna lie. Their QB is tough, and that's why he was the Heisman. So I get it. I get it.
I'll go. Mike Irvin. Mike, we the shit out of y'all, motherfuckers. Belt the ass, Mike Irvin. Belt that. Where the fuck was you at yesterday, Mike? Where was you at, nigga? Fuck is you talking about? That's what you get. Looking on the sideline, crying, you looking sick. God, I got more to say. Good.
Bro, I'm not a Miami fan. I feel like you
this
think
Mike
that
Irvin.
way.
I'm with Mike through and through. He's talking about we. It was never.
All right, you wrong. I'm gonna give you
never
that.
we.
It's we when the Mike Irvin keep doing this. Go ahead, my bad. My bad. Go ahead.
Yo, I feel like when you said about
Niggas don't like it, but
No, we don't.
Yeah.
We don't.
yeah, well,
bro, mad people were hitting me up, and I was like, yo, you the worst when your team loses, bro, and coming around you, it's the worst, man. You just be
bragging, man.
antagonizing.
Because I'm emotionless with my teams. I don't really have
I
emotions.
feel you. I wish I was like that too. But with this game, what you said about the kicker, right? Like a 50-yard field goal, I feel like that Jaguars kicker and the Cowboys kicker, they be hitting like 68-yarders, like it's effortless. So everybody think that their kicker could just go out and like a 50-yard is a chip shot. It was like 4th and 3. I feel like they should have went for that there. And you kind of play conservative, and then you get bit in the ass. And, you know, we'll talk about it later with the Bears. It was the same scenario there where I felt like they should have went for it too. They had the momentum. I feel like you could steal the momentum right before half. Kicking that field goal, that shit was a bomb, and it hits the upright. That's the second field goal the dude missed these college football playoffs. So I kind of feel like sometimes these coaches, they get a little too conservative. Like they play not to lose instead of trying to win.
I agree with that. Before you Cam, you
No,
go
ahead.
to a certain
No,
extent, because
no,
it's like,
enjoy.
I totally understand, like, you don't want teams to play too conservative because you have it all on the line. But I also do feel like sometimes you do have to just trust the coaches because they know their players and they know their team. And it's like in college, it just gets real tricky because it's like literally we saw in the game last night, like some silly things did happen. Like even there was a lot of moments where I felt like Carson Beck was and could have ran, you know? So it's like, do we take that and then see what happens on the other end and see if they would have had the ball back in their possession closer? Like, it's just too many things where it's like, I think in NFL, with the pros, with the big dogs, like, okay, yeah, y'all shouldn't play as conservative in a lot of moments. But with college, it's just like, I don't know. And I'll go back to this, like I said, like, sometimes Carson Beck makes some questionable plays, okay? Like, I've kind of said that from the jump. I was like, I don't really know. So I just feel like sometimes you know who you're working with. And I feel like in this situation, you don't always know. So I still think that was fair, but
Damn, you're harsh. He got y'all all the way to the championship.
I am
game.
harsh because I still feel the same way. Like, even when the end happened, I was highly upset because it's like we were just there. But then it was like, respectfully, because y'all know I love the Kings down. I was like, damn, of course it happened this way. Like, I have to be harsh because you've had time. As much as I want this team to win, as much as I want the most for them, and I will continue to support them through and through and even continue to go to games, you can kind of see where things start to go.
Give Indiana's coach he did a great thing. I don't know if you guys remember, but right before that play, he called timeout. So he was set. There was something they must have saw. And I feel like they set Carson up a little bit with that play. And that was his last time out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I felt like – and
That's
then
a good point.
listen, and then I'll be honest with you. Indiana's got a bunch of old guys on that team. Like to me, that was kind of disappointing because I feel like they put grown men on the field. To be honest with you, when I think about it, there's no excuse. But when you got players that are 25, 26 years old coming back now, it's all fucked up in college football now.
Yeah.
You got 26-year-old dudes that should be in the NFL. I mean, the quarterback for Indiana should be in the NFL already. I mean, it's kind of rough now, you know. And shout out to Miami. I think Carson Beck did good though. I'm gonna be honest with you.
No, I don't think he did bad, but I just think like you do see the flaws that a lot of people were questioning kind of even before he decided to come to Miami. So it's kind of like those things are always going to come back unless they get kind of fixed. So, you know, because like, I mean, Georgia, they've been dealing with Carson Beck and intercept like for the longest. Those are the things that pissed them off. So it's unfortunate that it happened on this big of a stage because I know for his stock, if I were him, I'd be a little nervous because to the big leagues, it's looking a little different. But I mean, he did do what he could do, but it's still just you just can't help but think, damn, wish it went another way. Bruh.
Mike Irvin beat your ass last night, man. Listen, man, that was a good point, Larry. Oh, pardon me. That was a great point, Larry. They definitely used Indiana. I'm talking about their last time out when Miami was actually pushing the ball up the field. They had momentum. They got an Indiana territory, probably to like the 35-yard line, maybe the 30-yard line, and he called that timeout. I don't know if he's at 30, maybe the 40. I don't remember. But that was a great point because after that timeout, that's when the interception came. I see actually when you say the stats harsh, that's the Wilson family as a whole. You know, they like you, and then after that, they'll turn their back on you 2 minutes after that they just gave you all this praise. 2 minutes later, they'll turn your back on you. She was dissing Carson Beck. They were winning. Carson Beck's her friend. Now she's up here picking Carson Beck apart. This is what I expect. It's not her fault. This is the household she grew up in. This is what they do in the household. They turn their back on you immediately. So don't even feel bad about that. But I do want to give Miami credit. You have to think about what Indiana's done since beating Ohio State. They've beaten niggas' ass. You know what I'm saying? Smacking Oregon, smacking Alabama. This was actually a good game. Came down to the wire. I didn't think it was going to be a good game. I thought it was going to actually be a blowout. So to me, Miami did way better than I thought they would do. So I want to give praise to Miami for making it an interesting game and not just being a blowout. But for Mendoza, you have to give him, you know, his story is incredible. When you think about his story, you're thinking about growing up in Miami area, wanting to go to Miami as a walk-on. Miami turned him down as a walk-on. After this, coming back to Miami, after going to California to Indiana, and then playing the championship in Miami against the school that wouldn't even let you come on as a walk-on with all your friends and family around. Also, the reigning Heisman Trophy winner, that's catching the vapors, making people feel like shit at the highest level. At the highest level, the University of Miami has to feel like shit the way they treated Mendoza. So I just want to give him a ton of credit because I know me. I mean, and of course, you know, I'm not NFL camera ready. You know, he is, and he carries himself very professional. Me, I would have been like, felt like shit. Y'all felt like shit. I tried to come here and be a walk-on. I didn't even want to I wanted to be a walk-on. Y'all curved me. Now I'm the Heisman winner. Now I get to come back home on y'all home field, win a championship. Not only that, finish an undefeated season. Y'all caught the vapors. Y'all gotta feel like shit. You gotta feel like this. You know, be honest, University of Miami, y'all feel like shit. You gotta feel like shit. It's an impeccable story, but in all due respect, good game for Miami. But back to what you were saying, Larry, how Indiana has these grown men. I don't know if y'all seen what they're doing in basketball, and I'm pretty sure they're already doing it in football, to where they're letting players from the G League come back to college because they haven't used their college eligibility. So now you're going to have 24, 25-year-old players playing in college. I also seen they just changed the rule for redshirting from 4 games. Now if you play 9 games, you can still redshirt. Like, yo, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Then I also seen some high school kids. It's on the Is What It Is page. Shout out to my man Bub for posting different stuff that's not necessarily on the other sport outlets' pages. We try to post things that are different. And I seen a bunch of high school kids, very good high school kids, saying how they don't watch the NFL. They say college is more lit. They rather watch college than the NFL. And you know why? To me, I can't answer for those kids because now the money's, you don't have to jump to get the money in the NFL. Now you're in high school talking about, yo, when I get to Syracuse, I'm getting me about $4 million when I get to Syracuse. When I get to USC, man, I'm gonna grab me $2 million. Yo, even if you're not a 5-star recruit, yo, now they got $250,000 waiting for me at UNC. So now you have younger kids not necessarily paying attention to the NFL because the next step in life is college, and you can make millions of dollars in college to where now you're not even necessarily paying attention to the NFL. But the coach from Indiana, what I think he's going to be, my personal opinion, unless they fix this loophole, he's going to be kind of the next Nick Saban. Me and Bub was talking about it because he's going to go get those 23, 24, 25-year-olds. He's not going to go recruit 18-year-olds. He's not going to go recruit 19-year-olds. He's going to go see who's good, who's not going to necessarily go to the NFL, and say, look, man, you still got a chance over here. Yo, you know what? Yo, this nigga right here, he looking good, who play for, I'm just using random teams for Ole Miss. He played 7 games, some play 2 more games than redshirt. Get a whole another year. The loopholes is crazy.
Yeah.
The loopholes is wild. So I think he figured that out, and I think now with the success that he's had, he's going to get more players to do this, and I don't think he's recruiting anybody that's going to be a teenager. I think he knows how to recruit older players to beat up on young players, and that's not his fault because he knows where the loopholes at. I seen John Calipari for college basketball mad about it, like throwing a tantrum like, yo, I'm still going to go recruit 18, 19-year-olds, but am I going to win? I don't know, because they're going to be playing against 24 and 25-year-old players. It's a wild loophole, and you can't get mad at the coaches who take advantage of it.
So is college going to start being like in baseball, like the minor leagues almost? Because that's what it kind of feels like a little bit, right? When you say like the NFL, you can get paid early.
I wouldn't even know if you call it the minor leagues, because you got people leaving the minor leagues coming to college. If you put it in the NBA form, the minor leagues would be the G League.
The G League.
You're leaving the G League to come to college.
Yeah.
And now you can make more money in college than you make it in the G League. Right. So you sit there and say, yo, somebody making a good job in the G League, $50,000 a year, $40,000 a year. Maybe, I've seen the good players making $35,000 a year. This coach could tell you, look, I got $500,000 for you, nigga. We lit, nigga.
Yeah.
Fuck the G League. I'm going back to college and make 10 times as much as I was making in the G League. I don't know how you fix the loophole, but and just more power to the coaches that figured it out and they're succeeding with it. It's not their fault because they're not making the rules.
Yeah.
And not even just money. You can make more of a name for yourself, too, in college now. Because even, like, Juju Watkins, like, y'all would have been, like, if you really weren't paying attention, you'd be like, oh, she has to have been in the WNBA right now, by now. Like, she's literally still playing in college. Like, the name that you can make yourself and the money is insane. But shout out to the people that can do it, because if you could do it, you would do it, too. So I fully understand where they're coming from.
That's totally true, especially nothing more than women's basketball. I think women's, of course, you still hear about Caitlin Clark and everything else, but there's a lot of famous college women basketball players that kind of get lost in the system when they get to the WNBA, because you're not necessarily paying attention to the WNBA, but you're paying attention to them in college. Like, I'm not sitting there saying you ain't paying attention to Paige Beckers in the WNBA, but you watching her when she at UConn. You're like, yo, Paige Beckers. She did really good this year, too. But to me, that's a great sport to say, I don't think it's more athletes that get lost than women basketball players once they leave college to go to the WNBA. And I could be wrong. I don't want y'all to get offended. I'm just saying that everybody's not going to be Angel Reese. Everybody's not going to be Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark. Everybody's not going to be Paige Becker. Some of these girls, you followed them through the WNBA tournament, and you be like, oh, she's nice. I hope South Carolina win, or I hope UConn win, or I hope USC win, or whatever. And then you kind of don't hear about them, and then you get hooked on the next person that's in college basketball. Like UConn, Paige Beckers is gone, but it's a new girl last year who broke all the rookie records for UConn. I'm watching the girl Audi for Iowa. I think it's Iowa.
Iowa State.
Huh?
I think it's Iowa
State, yeah. Little husky joint, averaging 30 or something. You know what I'm saying?
Unstoppable.
Yeah, you see, you've been watching?
Unstoppable. 40 and 22 every night.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Audi Brooks or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. But now that's who I'm watching. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, it's more exciting.
Yeah. Good points. But shout out to Indiana for their first championship in their football history, but it's still over here. Still gonna support the U, but that was a great game. Okay, I just gotta make that clear. Okay, now we gotta move on to football. A lot of crazy good games this past weekend. So we're gonna start with the Broncos versus the Bills. So the Broncos took down Josh Allen and the Bills 33-30 in overtime. Nick, what went wrong for the Bills? And what were your thoughts overall in the game?
My friends and I, we've kind of coined Josh Allen as like Mr. Almost, because it's just been the same thing with him. Even with McDermott getting fired too, I feel like they kind of hit the ceiling with this team. It's always an excuse for him, and I feel like it's safe for me to say it as a white guy, but like Josh Allen gets a crazy pass where like Lamar gets slandered all the time for like the same mishaps that he has in the playoffs. Like Lamar has had 3 turnover games. It's like, oh, my God, he can't read a defense. He can't do this. Like, he's not a franchise guy. Josh Allen does it, and it's like, well, he doesn't have a real number 1 wide receiver. He had 3 wide receivers that week get put on IR. And it's like, yo, we move the goalposts a lot as like sports media. But the thing that happened in this game is I'm not of a believer where I blame one call. My mindset when I played sports was always like, yo, the refs are going to probably do some dumb shit at some point. Let's not let them decide it. Everyone's talking about that play to Cooks that got intercepted. Mm-hmm. Was he down? Was he not? Look, man, the NFL, it's a subject call, right? What you think is a catch, what Cam thinks is a catch, what Larry thinks is a catch, it's all different. I don't know why it's so difficult, but it is what it is when it comes to that rule in particular. Where it went wrong is, I remember Bill Belichick used to always mention last 4, first 4. Last 4 minutes of the first half, first 4 minutes of the second half, and that's where it all went wrong for Buffalo. They give up that touchdown, and then Josh Allen tries to make a stupid play. I don't even know what he was trying to do. Fumbles, they kick a field goal. So now they go up 10. And I know Buffalo came back to take the lead later in that game, but it's just those little mistakes. Because what happens if they're not chasing a 10-point lead and it's a 7-point lead? It's just the little things that keeps haunting them. And it's just the same old thing, Mr. Almost with Josh Allen.
Mr. Almost. Cam, how you feeling?
That's the first time to me with Josh Allen to where, and I be seeing niggas in the comment, niggas be in my comment, Cam, don't get up there and be tap dancing for Josh Allen because people not like Josh Allen. Even though Joe Burrows is my nigga. I am a Josh Allen fan. But this is the first year, in my personal opinion, where you could kind of put it on Josh Allen. The other years, when the rules wasn't the same, you got to realize they changed the rules maybe 2 years ago to where the other team has a chance to score. So when you lose to Patrick Mahomes, those other years, they get the ball first in the overtime or whatever the case may be. Josh Allen wasn't on the field to decide if his team could win or lose. This is the year he was on the field deciding if his team could win or lose. When we was talking about, we're talking about before the half, right? So they're up 7-3, if I'm not mistaken. And they're right on the verge of making a run after Josh Allen makes an outstanding run. And what's this nigga name? Because it's Crooks and it's Cook. I want to make sure that I get
Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, but I ain't talking about an interception. I'm talking about Cook. Cook fumbled the ball, and they could have went 14-3 when he fumbled the ball. And to me, the lack of emotion from everybody outside of Josh Allen and the linemen, of course, wasn't there. The nigga fumbled the ball, and they ain't say, damn, man, nothing, just jogged off casually. Fuck it, I fumbled. That's what's up, this, that, third. Even when you talk about the interception at the end, when he throws the ball to Crooks and then he rolls over and get the interception. You don't fight for the ball, Crooks. Like, nigga, y'all playoff life is on the line. Nigga just rolled over, let the nigga take it, and you just sitting there. Like, bro, I'm not making a suit for Josh Allen. He's on the field, and it's his fault. You know what I'm saying? But niggas is not fighting. You do a fumble, you're not mad. You get intercepted, you're just sitting there. You don't fight for the ball. Nigga, if that's me, you're not just rolling over and taking the ball. That's just not going to happen. Then you put it on Josh Allen as well to where the fumble you was just talking about before halftime, right? I'm not saying Josh Allen should have fumbled because absolutely it's your job to take care of the ball. But don't you think as a coach, you have no timeouts left, you're on your own 20-yard line, what are you going to make happen? Take a knee and go in at halftime, and I'm not saying that's why he got fired, but that's decisions this coach is supposed to make. You have it was about 12, 13 seconds left. You have no timeouts. What are you really thinking about y'all going to do? Everybody's dropped back in coverage. You're not going to throw. First of all, you're not throwing a fucking 85-yard Hail Mary. Not about that. That play was stupid as well. I'm not making an excuse for Josh Allen. He didn't play well at all. Receivers that he missed, couple passes that he missed as well. But goddamn, Crooks and Cook, y'all niggas, man. Y'all niggas, it was too nonchalant for me, my personal opinion. But we'll see what happens. I know a lot of coaches would be really, really happy to go up to Buffalo and coach Josh Allen. I see some niggas today saying that the Giants better be careful, hope the ink dried on the paper.
I see that too.
Nah,
it's that Harbaugh trying to leave. He's trying to go.
Yeah, because John Harbaugh might be like, hold the fuck up, man. I quit before he start and go right up to Buffalo and be in a good position. New stadium, Listen, man, it's a sexy job, man. You got to realize there's some great coaches, some great quarterbacks that's available. In the AFC, you got Josh Allen, coachless, and you got Lamar Jackson, coachless right now. So,
Well, listen, what I like to say is, and I'm going to speak from a betting standpoint, because I bet that game. And I'll be very honest with you, for all the bettors out there, there was two things at the end of that game, and I think the NFL, they always say Vegas rigs the game. I will tell you this, that was a catch. They should have reviewed the play. Yep. Everybody in the whole book was crazy because they're not going to even review the play. Right. Listen, he caught the ball. He's down. He don't have to fight for it, Ken. That was my thing. The other thing was there was a PI in that game on Denver, and I remember sitting there thinking, they want Nix to go to. They want Nix to go to this play. A young kid. They like the quarterback. I mean, the head coach for Denver. We don't like. I said they want this. There was a PI that would have put Cleveland. Put the Bills in field goal range to win the game. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, it just looked like Vegas made the call from a betting standpoint on that piece. But now I feel like when they told me that old boy broke his foot, and I'm sorry he broke his foot, but now I feel like, well, that's what you get now, because now you don't get Josh Allen. Now you don't get Josh Allen against the Patriots because you wanted Bo Nix in there. And listen, everybody in that book, even the Denver fans, was going crazy on the non-PI call and that catch. And that would have ended the game right then. That's just from a betting standpoint.
I get you.
And there's a lot of bettors that watch this show, so I want to make sure the bettors know that we was watching that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's all.
That's what's up.
Yeah, so there's a lot to unpack here. We got to talk about Josh Allen's press conference. We got to talk about Bo Nix, but since Cam brought up the coach, I do want to get to that, Nick. So the Bills ended up firing their head coach, Sean McDermott, after 9 seasons. Do you think it was time?
Oh, I've been talking about it being time for like 3 years now, because I just think that they hit their ceiling. He's benefited from having Josh Allen bail him out on a lot of different plays. And then when he doesn't bail him out, this is what happens. Like, you never go into games with the Bills and you say, they got the coaching advantage. You say that about Denver. You say that about New England. You say that about a lot of teams that you still see in the playoffs. And it was long overdue. I feel the same way about your team with the Bengals. I feel like them bringing back Zach Taylor, that's a nightmare too. I kind of feel like you see what you could do with these teams, and then you got to just move on from them. So it's not a surprise to me at all. It was like they had to win the Super Bowl or else you was going to get canned.
Okay.
Yeah, at the end of the day, when you don't have, that was the big thing going into the playoffs. There's no Lamar Jackson. There's no Joe Burrows. There's no Patrick Mahomes. What's the excuse going to be? Everybody that the big bad quarterbacks are not in the way. So therefore, agree with Nick, even if you didn't win the Super Bowl, you had to get there to keep your job. So it might have been time.
Valid. Okay, so after the loss, Josh Allen had a pretty emotional press conference where he was actually crying at the stand, and he basically said he felt like he let his teammates down. So we know the coach is fired, but hearing that from Josh Allen himself and then just the emotions and all that, does that concern you, seeing that from a quarterback, or do you kind of see that as like a good thing, maybe like a mentality shift? How did you view that from Josh Allen?
I just think it's heartbreak after heartbreak from him all the time. And to your point too, because, I remember always saying how like Josh Allen, you brought it up and I forgot to mention it before, how he's never really cost them games in the playoffs. It was like the first time where you could say like Josh Allen kind of fucked it up for them. But I just look at it as, I'm kind of like you. I'm a little sensitive. So like, I don't mind the painted fingernails for Caleb Williams if they're winning.
Wow.
I don't mind Josh Allen showing emotion. When it's
Where
something
was
like
you
that,
all the other arguments that we did?
I'm in the control room.
She's not from America.
Born and raised in Queens. Nah, but like, for
y'all hear this?
Like, not America.
Nah, but if it was week 3 against the Jets and he's crying, I'd feel a type of way. But it's a playoff game. They lost in overtime again. This is 0-6 in overtime in his career. It's like, all right, he had a moment there. Like, to me, it's fine. Now, if he's doing it week 3 against the Jets, I'd be like, we need to have a conversation. It was the same thing I was saying with Caleb Williams when he went and he cried to his mom with the puppy and all that shit. It's like, they just got eliminated from college football playoff contention. He knew that his season was done. He wasn't going to win the Heisman again. It's like, all right, it was a moment there. If it's happening every week, I'd be like, all right, we need to talk about it. But to me, it was all right.
Look, when you win, you can paint your nails. I'm not saying I'm going to do it. But to me, Caleb Williams, the way he played this last 7-8 weeks, I can't really complain about the nails or not. Only thing I was complaining about his nails is this. The last game, not the last game, last week before that, he had like the 16-year-old high school girl nails where his nails was not done enough, and it was just like when girls can't afford to get their nails done every week, and it's just like a little paint in the middle of the nail. I didn't appreciate that. But he's been winning, and the shit that he did, I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about it, so I won't get too much into it. I don't mind, and then, like Nick said, I don't mind Josh Allen crying either, not in that scenario, because this is the year that you might think that you're going to win. You got to realize, I played basketball, not in the high level outside of high school. But when we watch sports, and Larry played to junior college too. And Nick, I didn't know you was a kicker too. I seen you post that one day in college. Maybe you should go try out for somebody. I didn't know you
got eligibility?
Yeah, you
might be able to. At Miami, they signing 29-year-olds. Why not?
That's what I'm saying. Nick was a Division III kicker. I didn't know that till I read down your page. We never even talked about it. Anyway, what people don't realize, we sit there and watch the games, and we say this person's hurt, or this person didn't achieve this, or this person's great, this person did this. It doesn't start at the game. It starts at practice and all the work you put in, and at the preseason and at training camp and so on and so forth. So when you sit there at training camp in August and then you start preseason, then you do a season, then you make it to the playoffs, and you say to yourself, oh, this is my best opportunity ever. I don't have to face Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow or Lamar Jackson. I should get it done, and then you don't get it done. I get it. I feel you on the crying tip, so I'm not really mad at that at all. I don't know if that was even the topic. Nick triggered me with it. Shit.
I see.
Yeah.
That's why I had a comment. I'm like, all this time, I'm like, wow.
Yeah,
but you said that don't even count.
Nah, I cried when I lost too, but granted I was 16 years old. I wasn't 30.
You know?
Good point. Checkmate.
Okay, real quick. So actually, when we did predictions, you and Mike chose the Broncos to win this game.
I chose all the right teams.
Oh. Okay, that part.
Yeah.
Just to the audience, but yeah, there you have it.
Everybody, I picked one. Everybody.
Cam back.
When y'all use Underdog, y'all know whose picks to listen to. That's all I'm gonna say.
I picked all the right teams this weekend, but sorry,
no, you're good. You got to make that clear for the people. So we saw Broncos won, but Bo Nix suffered a season-ending broken bone in his ankle during the game. So Nick, do you think now that we have Jarrett Stidham at the helm, not we, but the Broncos have Jarrett Stidham at the helm, do you think that they'll be able to advance? And then what was your reaction after hearing that he actually had an injury during that game?
Yeah, I think everybody did the same thing. I just went to Twitter and I thought people got hacked, bro. It's like when Luka got traded, everyone's like, yo, Shams got hacked. The same way. I was like, there's no way. Like, I watched that game. He walked off the field. It just sucks. Like, if you're a Bronco fan, you had this season, and for him to go out like that, it's just so brutal. I actually think that they're going to go to the Super Bowl. I'm still picking them to win. Everybody's just betting the Patriots, and they think with Stidham being in there, I still think they got the better defense. And, I think they've been frauds all year, but them in Denver is such a hard place to play, and they'll have enough time. It's not like Knicks got hurt in the middle of the game and then Stidham came in. It's like Payton will draw up some shit for him, and that defensive line. We'll talk about the Houston and Pats game in a little bit, but like they could definitely rush the passer against New England. So I'm actually picking Denver to win to go on to the Super Bowl, and then they'll have 2 weeks. But I also think, like, I remember way back in the day, Phillip Rivers tore his ACL. He had surgery on Tuesday, and then he played in the title game. It's like, yo, bro, we can't shoot you up with like some TRT or some crazy, put him on perks and get him out there. Like, what we doing, bro? It's the Super Bowl now. It's not week 11.
Yeah, I would have told niggas, don't even tell niggas my ankle is broke.
Keep that hush.
That's
ain't gonna lie, yeah.
That's what I would have did. But he's young.
Isn't it like NFL protocol though? They have to
probably
announce?
So. I mean, probably
at least by a certain time.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, once it's news, I'm just saying what I try to do. I don't know the rules and shit.
Yeah.
But I know one person who's confident, Shawn Payton, and I think this is Shawn Payton's opportunity to say, okay, I'm gonna show y'all while I'm that nigga. Because right after the game when he did his press conference, he was like, yeah, Bo broke his ankle, but I got a number 2 quarterback that could start for a lot of teams. So y'all think it's over, watch. Just wait and see. And that's exactly what Shawn Payton said. And I'm like, to me, he wants to show I can win with who I picked on my team to win. I said I don't want Russell Wilson. Okay, I work with Bo Nix. Bo Nix is good. He's all right. But I'm the one who tells Bo Nix what to do. You know, so now I'm going to tell Stan. He was very, very confident. Shawn Payton was very, very confident. I don't want to make my pick just yet. I'll wait later in the week to tell you who I'm going to pick. But the way Shawn Payton was talking, it's hard to bet against the confidence that he had, but I'm not making a pick just yet. But we'll see what happens.
Good point. Okay. We're going to go to break. When we return, we will discuss the 49ers versus the Seahawks, Texans versus Patriots, and more. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Now let's get into our underdog picks of the day. So next Sunday, the Patriots will play the Broncos. Underdog has Drake May at 224.5 passing yards. Do you have him higher or lower?
High.
Okay. Stephon Diggs is at half a rushing and receiving touchdown, higher or lower?
High.
Okay. And Jarrett Stidham is at 184.5 passing yards.
That's a tough one. We ain't see the nigga play all year. I'm going to go higher where he was Peyton Manning Sean Payton talking. Let's go higher.
Okay. Make sure y'all download the Underdog app and you can make your picks too. So we're going to start with 49ers. They had a rough 41-6 loss to the Seahawks. Nick, at what point did you realize, okay, the 49ers are going to lose this game?
The first play. they housed that kick, and if you heard that Seattle crowd, like, that shit was deadly loud in there. Look, I think the 49ers, like, in my opinion, Kyle Shanahan should be coach of the year. He probably won't win it, but like what he did with all the guys that he lost, and even coming into this week, like they brought back Ricky Pearsall, and people on the internet was like, Ricky Pearsall's back. It's like, bro, it ain't Jerry Rice. But that's how depleted they've been at wide receiver. I think it just ran its course. You saw McCaffrey after like about week 15, he just started to have so much of a workload pause on him that it just like, it killed them, and he's their whole offense. There's a crazy statistic of running backs that pass over 400 touches. There's an immediate decline within the next year. He had about 500 this year in total between, catches out the backfield. I think he was like top 5 in receptions as well. So he's their be-all, end-all, and it was over from the kickoff. Like the Niners, this iteration of the Niners, they have to play with a lead in order for them to be able to do the shit that they like to do on offense. And right away, like I had just gone to a friend of mine's house and I walk in, I see the kick return. I'm like, I just wasted a 30-minute drive for nothing. There's some games and some plays where it's just a bad omen. And right off the bat, for me, I thought it was over right when the first play happened.
Yeah, I mean, if not the first play, the first quarter was 17-0 in the first quarter. And they're playing in Seattle, and to Nick's point, they call the crowd the 12th man for a reason. It's the loudest stadium in the NFL out of all the franchises. They keep a barometer, a meter to see who has the loudest stadium. They have the loudest stadium. That's why I felt when San Fran played them a few weeks ago, home field advantage was really going to be important, and they didn't do it. But Nick made a great point. They've been hurt all year. They did the best what they had. And then when Kittles went down, it was definitely over for their season. But getting this far with the injuries they had, I haven't seen Ayuk in 17 years. I don't even know the last time. God bless it, that OJ might have been alive. The last time we seen a nigga Ayuk. I have not seen him since he signed this contract. He held out, wanted all that bread, got the money, and got hurt the very next week or two after he got the money. So, but yeah, I like Kyle Shanahan a lot. I don't know if he's going to get coach of the year. I really like what Gordon did in Chicago. First year, and with Caleb Williams, I really like what they did. I don't know, but give Sanford their credit, but the game was over in the first quarter.
Yeah, they tried though. Okay. And the Texans lost to the Patriots 28-16. Nick, what were some of the biggest takeaways you got from this game? CJ Stroud kind of getting cooked, but what are your thoughts?
I know this is a serious allegation, I'm going to say, but we got to investigate him for point shaving, bro. Because that CJ Stroud,
Yeah.
that performance, 4 interceptions in the first half, he looked like he wanted nothing to do with that game, to the point where, like, it was a serious combo on, like, Twitter and even the halftime show between Ryan Clark and Marcus Spears. Like, yo, we should bench him for Davis Mills.
Yeah.
Davis Mills was 3-0 with them as a starter. He's played in games because he was doing nothing for them. And they even cut it to 6 points in the second half. And, like, if you're New England, you're saying, yo, we got, like, 6 turnovers on this dude and this offense, and it's a one-score game. I had a couple friends that were there at that game that are Pats fans from back home, and they were just like, bro, we couldn't believe it. Like, it got awkwardly quiet in the stadium. Like, bro, we're dominating everything. But C.J. Stroud, I think it's an even bigger conversation because he's going to be due for an extension. How do you feel about a guy like C.J. Stroud from what you've seen the first 3 years of his career? Like, he's going to make north of $300 million if it comes to that. And I don't know if I would want to give that contract, bro.
Yeah, exceptional rookie year, subpar second year. Got hurt this year and finished up the season really, really strong. I think he caught some jitters in the playoffs. He was on the road, and I think he had some jitters. Do I think that he bounced back from it? Yeah. Drake May fumbled 4 times. They just recovered 2 times of it. So it isn't like Drake May didn't fuck up neither. It's just that C.J. Stroud lost, and Drake May, New England, recovered 2 of the 4 fumbles. So it ain't like Drake May had the perfect game, too. Well, I guess he's white, so it's all right.
What y'all not finna do.
I lined myself up for that one.
What y'all not finna do.
What I will say is one of those interceptions, it touched the wide receiver's hands and they picked it off that way. So I don't blame him for that one. And the Patriots defense is probably one of the best defensive teams in the league. And another thing that I think people forget is that, you know, Floyd Mayweather always talks about those lights. Those lights are on in the playoffs. It's a whole different intensity. It's a whole different level. And what I watched in that game was I watched the Patriots. Man, they were hitting the shit out of those players for the Texans. And we always talk about the Texans defense, but I can't blame that young quarterback. I didn't think he was point shaving at all. And then also, I think he's a good role model. I think he represents that team very well. And I think they're going to give him every penny of that. He's a good young man. He handles business. And that Patriots defense, man, they were flying all over the place in bad, inclement weather. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Bad weather, horrible weather. And like you said, I mean, one of the picks wasn't his fault. It looked that way, though. It looked bad, but I don't blame him. That defense was all over the place. And I think that's why I think the Patriots and the Seahawks get to the Super Bowl.
I don't know. I think CJ made them look a lot better. You know, he didn't have Nico Collins, and I think Nico Collins is one of, like, the few receivers in the league. You'd understand this, right? I think he actually means something against the point spread because of what the drop-off from him to the next guy is.
Yeah.
Right? Like, when Jamar Chase don't play for the Bengals, well, you still got T. Higgins. He's an elite wide receiver. But a guy like Nico Collins, when he's not in there, he's a top 10 wide receiver, and him and C.J. Stroud have had amazing chemistry since CJ got into the league, and that's when Nico Collins really exploded onto the scenes. I think that Nico Collins not being there really hurt him, and then they lost Dalton Schultz also. But there was just a couple of plays where, like, he either missed receivers by a lot or that defense looked a lot better because of CJ
Well, that
Stroud.
goes back to what Cam said last week about, you know, I thought about this when Brady was describing how to throw a ball in those conditions. Bro, I mean, it was raining pretty bad, and then by the time the game was over, it was snowing. So there was a lot of bad conditions. And don't Texas play in a dome? I think they play in a dome. So, I mean, like all those things come into play, man. Like, a lot of those things come into play. And I thought there was a lot of pressure when those lights come on. This is the winning time. And I just felt like I said, one of the interceptions, the guy hit him right in his hands, went right through his hands, picked it off, almost went the other way, right? I mean, like you said, if the other guy fumbles 4 times, he just gets it back. I mean, and they still were in the game. That was the biggest thing to me. So
they took 2 of them fumbles away. They just recovered two of them, but he did fumble 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, he led the league in fumbles, Drake May, this year.
And I do feel like the second half, when they talked about that, he played good in the second half. I mean, he played a lot better than he did the first half.
Couldn't play any worse, though.
Yeah, well, that too. But I mean, they had a chance to win the game on the road. And the Patriots have been tough all year long, especially at home. They look like the old Patriots, like, when Brady was there.
I will say, because usually Larry, I do agree with you, because that's how I think. I'm like, I don't think this is the time to just completely go against him, but there were some rough moments that he's gonna have to work on, because not even just the Patriots game, the Steelers game as well. I think let me find the stat I have. He's the first player with over 5 interceptions and over 5 fumbles in a single postseason, and that's only within 2 games. We just gotta fix that. Mistakes do happen in football, and that's why I give him grace, because he's still a young quarterback with a high ceiling, a lot of potential, and like we said, some of his key people weren't there. I think that he works on it, but it's we can't have that happen. But the internet is so quick to turn on people anyways, so it's everybody's like, man, CJ Stroud is ass. Like, they be so quick to do all that.
Internet?
Yes. I never said he was ass. You never said he was ass.
I'm not just talking about CJ Stroud. I'm talking about people just turning on their teams.
I saw that coming a mile away.
Yeah, I'm not just talking about CJ Stroud. I'm just talking about turning on your team.
He's a young, good franchise player. He deserves that money that's coming up. He doesn't.
Look, think about this, right? And this shit pisses me off. Sin, it's your turn again. By the way, Sin, you say we don't talk about Knicks. They got smacked by Dallas last night. They aren't looking good.
We need a trade, bro.
Yeah,
it's bad.
Don't say I didn't bring the Knicks up. Dallas smacked the Knicks. Shout out to PT. That's his team, Dallas Mavericks. But I gave the Knicks they shine. We're not going to continue to talk about that. But yeah, he pisses me off because I've been telling Sin about, for instance, right? It's 2 different things now today about Trevor Lawrence for a few years. And then he's like, when he got his big contract, they're like, yo, who is this long-haired nigga? Why are they paying him all this money? What is they paying him all this money for? I'm like, yo, they see, you pay based on what you think somebody could do in the future. You don't, you pay them a little bit for what they did in the past, but you're basically paying them for what you think that they could do for your franchise in the future. Now that Drake Mason has watched a lot of playoff football this season, which he hasn't watched in the past, every week he got a new favorite nigga. So now he calls Trevor Lawrence Mugga. He's like, yo, my nigga Mugga playing this week. And I'm like, I just hang up on him because you was hating on the nigga for the last 2.5 years when I've been trying to tell you he has a high ceiling. And you like, yeah, I wouldn't be paying these niggas all these $200-300 million, yada, yada, yada. Now you talk about nigga Mugga is better than Josh. He calls him Mugga. It's pissing me off with it, actually. Then yesterday, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, however long it was, yo, you ain't telling me about Bo Nix. I said, yo.
What?
He's annoying, yo. He's just so, he's so annoying, man. But to your point, Larry, he's young. He has a lot of time left. And, you're saying you don't want to pay him, but everybody's not going to perform in the beginning under them lights. That's a great analyzation, what you said, too. Some lights are brighter than others, and it's not necessarily meaning lights, moments. And some people are going to not handle moments like that, but you take experience and you take it to the next year. They won 9 games in a row, the Texans, before they lost, 10 games in a row before they lost. And I thought that's outstanding for somebody who just came off an injury. And you think about their coach. Their coach actually played against Aaron Rodgers, But, I credit Aaron Rodgers, but these are all young people building something. I don't think you throw everybody under the bus, even though it was bad. I have to agree with Nick, it was bad, but I'm not going to turn my back on what they did in the second half of the season, including C.J. Stroud being hurt in the beginning of the season.
Yeah. So, Nick, I do want to ask you this because it seems like me, Cam, and Larry are in some sort of agreement, and I think you're kind of just I don't know. So, you have some concerns for C.J. Stroud being the face of the franchise, or you think things will kind of have an uphill road? Where do you
so
going?
This is he's been this is his 6th playoff game. Every year that he's been in the league, he's won a playoff game and they've made the playoffs, right? I just look at I remember as a Giants fan, I remember when they signed Daniel Jones, I was like, uh-oh. right? There's a couple contracts like Tua, Dak. You kind of know what the ceiling is with these guys. And I think CJ Stroud, like to Larry's point, outstanding citizen, no controversies off the court, off the field. Like he's a role model. That's a guy you want to give the keys to the car to, right? I get that. But the money that they're making now, like if you look at the list, Dak Prescott, 60 million, Josh Allen, 55, Burrow, 55. The next quarterback's coming up is going to be making north of 60. And it's like when you do that, they're not going to be able to pay the 8 guys that are Pro Bowlers on defense. You know, Will Anderson's going to be up for a contract. Stingley just got paid. Petrie, Al-Shire, the linebacker. It's like, I don't think he's a guy that can elevate the rest of his team. They're benefiting from all these rookie contracts. I feel the same way about Bo Nix, and he's white.
Thing about it is, right, Bo Nix has been in the league. This is second year, right?
Yeah.
Bo Nix, 25. CJ Stroud, 24. He's 24 years old. Even though you're right, he's gaining experience, but who's a younger quarterback in the position that he's in? All the people that you name is getting towards 30 years old, if not 30 years old already. He's 24. He got time to me. Bo Nix was in college, one of the Miami situations, old-ass nigga in college. You know what I'm saying? So CJ Stroud, this is third year. Is it? Yes, it's third year. You got somebody like Bo Nix who has a Shawn Payton, and Shawn Payton's a really good coach. But he's 24. He has plenty of time to get better. So you throw him under the bus at 24 years old, you drive a hard bargain, bro.
Well, the other thing is that the NFL is a business. And while being in the sports book the other day, one of the comments from females that I heard was, he's super cute. And if you don't know now, the female market drives, I think, 56% of sales from the NFL. So as a business, give him that money. He's going to get that back in jersey sales as a businessman. That's just me as a businessman, because at the end of the day, NFL is entertainment for us. And I think people forget those aspects of that as well. You know, this is still a business. And I think that, you know, the women actually like him, and he's marketable.
You think they'll still like him if he goes 6-11?
I think the women like him, and they want to come see a young man like him who's well-groomed. I don't even want to say this because that sounds bad. He speaks well. He doesn't hurt your organization. He helps brings fans, female fans who spend the money at the end of the day. And to me, I mean, obviously we like to win, right? But at the end of the day, it's still a business. And I'm looking at that strictly from a business aspect.
Yeah, and that's a great point. You see, Amber Rose was on the nigga early.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Trying to lock the nigga down early. Like,
Yeah.
got me a young nigga, this nigga cute. Pause. For me, put this nigga on the slut walk with me early. Then the nigga.
Yeah.
What? But then the church got involved. Niggas like, yeah, Christian shit. This how you know. I'm gonna be honest with you, right? Stat never talk bad about that nigga. Because he cute. She don't never say nothing bad since day one.
A couple years ago.
Since day one, she not said one thing bad. I'll diss the nigga.
Yeah.
I'm not going to diss him about his money. You ain't hear what she just said? She said, there's some things we need to clean up.
Yeah.
We got to clean that up.
I
peeped it. So I was going to leave it alone, but Larry, you brought it up.
Yeah, but I was in the sports book, and the females were like, "Oh my God, he's so cute," and don't hurt him. Like they were like into him.
Don't hurt him.
Yeah, it was like, "Oh my God," like, and I'm sitting there going, "Oh, okay," like, but that's a draw. And at the end of this is business,
counts, bro.
Yeah, business. I mean, it's business. Those jersey sales mean a lot when you're selling those jerseys for $300 and $250, and you know they're making profit off of that. That $300, give it to them. They're getting it back.
Yeah.
Yo, so I got a question for you guys, and using CJ Stroud as an example, do you guys ever watch a player and you find out his contract and you're like, yo, I like him for $12 million, but then when you know he's gonna make 55, you're like, I don't know if I'd be comfortable with him.
Yo, and that's Sin's life, yo. Yo, where everybody
I feel
like,
him on that,
yo,
bro. I feel him,
yo,
though.
Sin don't want nobody to get that money, yo. That's his favorite argument. Yo, just what you say, yo, come on, man. I get a nigga 32, 55.
I used to do a show with Will Blackman. He played 14 years in the NFL, and anytime we'd have these conversations, he's like, "Yo, bro, I'm telling you, you're wrong. Like, always side with the player.
100%.
You'll tear your elbow and they'll just like cut you the next year. He's like, I'm telling you, especially in the NFL, always side with the player. So I'm always a little conflicted. I feel like a hypocrite, and it's probably the one thing in sports where I do feel like a hypocrite. But I do be watching some players, and like I said, like with Daniel Jones, he had that one magical year where they made the playoffs, and I was like, oh man, 140 million, that's going to set us back. And it did. You know, there's just certain contracts that I think, I like you for 12 million. I don't know about 47.
I can't argue with that. Sin annoys me with it. That's the only thing I don't agree. I can't argue, but what it boils down to is this. You got to give the credit to Kobe Bryant. God bless the dead. He's the one who started paying attention to television contracts. When the Lakers wanted to give him, say, yo, Kobe, why wouldn't you take a pay cut to get more players? You know, salary cap was way lower back then. He like, why would I take a pay cut? And the Lakers just did a $3 billion deal with the television network. So that's when, you know, the players wasn't eating off the television networks. They keeping the salary cap low. So now every year with these new deals the NFL or the NBA is doing, the salary cap's gonna go up because now the players and the player union say, yo, hold the fuck up. Y'all niggas just did I'm exaggerating, of course, $17 billion. What you mean the salary cap is 80 million for the team? Nah, we gotta fix that. Because y'all are making more money, the players are making more money. Of course, it's the product, the shield, the NBA logo, the baseball, whatever it is, but they're paying to see the players, and that's why the money keeps going up. Like Dak Prescott, when you sit there and say, yo, you getting 55 million, people get mad about it. But how much is the NFL making off of that? How much, you know, it's not gonna hurt Jerry Jones. Even though Jerry Jones is a shrewd businessman, he don't wanna pay niggas like, I gotta keep paying these niggas and I'm not winning. I get it, but y'all keep going to do deals. NBA, I can't find a fucking NBA game I want to see. So on ESPN tonight, Peacock tomorrow morning, NBC. It's all over the place because Adam Silver is doing deal. Amazon this week. This shit was ESPN TNT. Now it's on 19 channels, and to me, it's damaging the product because I'm not downloading every app. I'm just gonna have to miss some games. I'm not getting Peacock to go see game 26 of the NBA season. Then I gotta have it Amazon. Then I gotta know it's on ESPN. Then I gotta know it's on NBC. They're collecting more money. The players are gonna make more money. That's just the way it goes. Do they deserve it? You may say they don't deserve it, but when the companies or the franchises, not just the franchises, the leagues they're playing for is making an extra $2 billion, that's just the way it's gonna go.
I definitely feel like the players deserve every penny that they got. Those dudes go out there. They have CTE. They have all these things that they don't even know about, future problems, future traumas down the road. And I could agree with you on those things, and I get the point you're trying to make. But I'll agree with you when the owners open up the books and tell us exactly how much they're making. Then I would feel more comfortable saying something like that. Because I feel like now some of these players, you know, if we knew how much the owners are really making, because nobody really knows how much they're making. I mean, these guys are probably making billions of dollars, and they're like, yo, they're probably laughing, going, Cam, we only paid him $32 million. We made $32 billion last year.
No, for sure.
I'm just saying, like, come on. When you say that, it's like, I get it, but nah, man, these dudes out there, they're having car accidents almost every play.
Yeah.
On your body. Every play they're having car accidents.
No, for sure. And I feel like there's like a handful of athletes that are vastly underpaid, and most of them are like the highest paid in the league, like Ohtani, right? Like you can make a case with the international market. He's vastly underpaid. Steph Curry, when he got there, they were like $450 million evaluation. Now they're like the third most expensive franchise in all of sports. It's like he's making $45 million a year from Golden State. He's vastly underpaid. So 60, yeah. So it's like he's still underpaid though. If you went from 400 million to 10 billion, it's like, bro, it's all because of him.
I saw Jonathan Abraham. He played for the Raiders for a minute out here, and we went to lunch after they played the Cowboys one game, and he showed me some bruises. We were at breakfast, and there were bruises on his neck on both sides. Other players were walking out of the little eatery we were in, and they were struggling, man. And I was thinking, damn, these dudes are really banged up. And I mean, I'm talking about the bruises from the shoulder pads. I'm like, yo, bro. He's like, I had to go in my hyperbaric chamber to sleep today just to rejuvenate. I'm like, nah, man, that ain't the way I want to live. You know what I'm saying? That's a tough way to live. So get them every penny. I mean, I get what you're saying, but get them every penny. They deserve that money.
Yeah, I think they deserve that money too. They put their bodies on the line every single day. So shout out to them boys who can secure them high contracts. Okay, so Rams beat the Bears 20-17 in overtime. Nick, how good of a game did you think that was? And then what was going through your mind while watching it? Like, what were your overall thoughts?
I thought the game was pretty whack until the last 5 minutes. That's where it really got good. The entire playoffs, I think there's been the most lead changes in the fourth quarter in like NFL history, and we still got the AFC Championship game, NFC Championship game, and the Super Bowl. That's in the fourth quarter, the lead changes. I thought it was a great ending. Caleb Williams has really had, 7 or 8 miracle Hall of Fame throws in like the last 2 months, it seems like.
Yeah.
He really earned a lot of people's respect, and what they've done in Chicago, I think they're going to be a problem moving forward. And the one thing that they got also, and if you're a team like the Titans, the Giants, the Saints, the Raiders next year, it's favored that they're going to get Mendoza, who just won the national championship. It's like, yo, you could turn it around if you get the quarterback on a rookie contract. And that's what Caleb and the Bears did. My question to you, Cam, is I feel like momentum is such a real thing, bro. I feel like they should have went for 2 after that play when they scored that touchdown, that 4th and 4 where he throws it from like the 50-yard line. Like, I picked the Rams at the beginning of the year to win the Super Bowl, and I had Stafford as my MVP. And when that play happened, I was like, yo, they got to go for 2. Like, I always think of it, Larry, as a better 2. I always think of it as like, what don't I want them to do right now? And to me, it was like, I don't want them to go for 2. So when they put the Santos out there to kick the PAT, I was like doing my cross. I was like, oh, thank God. Thank the football gods that they're not going for 2, because they just had the momentum. It's like, yo, you just on a 4th and 4, and you rolled all the way back to the 40. You basically threw a Hail Mary. You score it there. Crowd is going crazy. The Rams are rattled. You got to go for 2 there, man. What do you think about that?
I'm not mad at your philosophy. I'm not going for 2. I wouldn't be mad at it. And real quick, I said Gordon, I meant Ben Johnson for Coach of the Year. I'm not mad at your philosophy. It's just that you got the momentum. This nigga got 7 comebacks this season. And to be honest with you, let's think about overtime, right? The Rams get the ball first. They stop the Rams. The Bears get it. Then you're in field goal range. There was no reason to throw that pass that Caleb Williams threw that interception for. You could have just kept picking them apart for 6-7 yards, even if Caleb Williams scrambled. A lot of shit is play calling, too. The play calling is very questionable throughout the whole year. I see niggas in 1st and goal inside the 5 and do 2 passing plays and then run it on the 3rd down. You know what I'm saying? Like this, not just, I'm talking about the play, I'm just talking about all year I've been questioning play calling. But I'm not mad at that. Like, fuck it, let's go for it. But then you got to hear it on Monday if you're the coach.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Why would this, that, and the third? If you do it, you're a hero. Think about this, right? 2 years ago, Dan Campbell was a real nigga. Fuck that. He go for a 4th down. He don't give a fuck. He got Detroit looking good. Yo, this, that, there. This year, they like, Dan Campbell may need to calm the fuck down with all this trying to go 4-on-4. They may need to let somebody else call the plays. And then you eventually get blamed for it. I'm not mad at that philosophy. If they would have went for 2, I would have been like, that's gutsy. And they might have got it. But me, I would have did the same thing. I just would have been better play calling in overtime because the next score wins. The Rams didn't score, so now you have an opportunity just to kick a field goal and you win the game because the Rams didn't score. You didn't have to go for a 20-yard pass to try and get that far. Like, I don't even think that play call is the right play. I would have got to the 30, 20, to the 40, 30-yard line and let my kicker do the rest.
I literally thought, I'm not lying to you, when they scored the thing, I said, go for 2.
Yeah.
First thing I said, go for 2. The momentum means everything. I was talking to Sin the other day about momentum. Mm-hmm. Momentum is real. And I felt like when he scored, the first I said, just go for the 2. It doesn't matter at this point. Go for the fucking 2. And I really thought they probably would have got it. That crowd was going bananas in there on that last play. And I probably, the gambler in me would have been like, fuck it. We got the moment. Crowds. I would have went
They
for
have
2.
a situation early in that game. I don't want to get my games mixed up. They had like a 4th and 3 on the goal line. They didn't get it.
Yeah, they did on the drive before.
Yeah, but we're talking momentum.
Yeah, but
That's why I feel like when you take everything into consideration,
That
like the
energy was crazy.
Yeah, the energy, and it's 4th and 4. And, it was technically a 14-yard touchdown pass, but it was from the 45-yard line that he threw it.
And the Rams were rattled at that point. They were rattled.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, but I get it.
no, I'm not disagreeing with y'all. Look, that's gutsy. That's gutsy.
Yeah.
And momentum is a real thing.
Yeah. You're not a gambler, though. You're not. You're going to play it safe.
Right.
My first thing was go for 2. And I didn't have, at that point, I didn't have nothing to gamble in that game, but go for 2. Just fuck it. Go for 2. You might as well.
Yeah, that's why, I really sometimes when I'm watching sports, I put myself on the other side and I'm like, if I had a ticket on this game, if I had a bet on this game, what would I not want them to do? And them not going for 2 was like a relief for me. That's how I was thinking about it. Just because, again, the momentum's a real thing.
The problem is, like you said, on Monday, if they don't make it, you got to answer a lot of questions, man. And your job is on the line at that point.
Nah, it's his first year. He wasn't going to lose his job regardless.
Yeah, I would have went for it.
He would have to answer.
I would have went for that.
Yeah, and you got to deal with that shit in Walgreens and in the supermarket.
I would have went
in the
for
restaurant, and niggas just coming up to you like, yo, why didn't you just... With this, Caleb Williams threw the interception. That's on him. But at the same time, he's not going to get... Caleb Williams is not going to get that much discredit for that situation because without that pass, you don't go to overtime. I think everything with the Bears was a successful season considering their organization. They haven't won 2 playoff. They won their first playoff game in 15 years, and then they haven't won 2 playoff games since 2006. This was a very successful year for the Bears.
Now the one thing I disagree with Nick on is that next year it won't be this good for them next year. Because I don't think people, they'll be like the Lions. The year before, the people will be a little bit prepared for them. That's what happens. These teams play really good, and they break out a little bit, and then the next year people are like, the Bears are coming to town. Yeah. They remember those things, and they get a little bit more prepared for them.
Well, I think this year showed a lot of transparency in the NFL. You think about, like I said, we talk, and that's a great point too, because think about the Commanders last year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even though Jaden Daniels got hurt or whatever, but I just like it better when you don't know that Patrick Mahomes is going to be in the Super Bowl every year, or it's not going to be Josh Allen against Patrick Mahomes. Outside of Matthew Stafford, you got 3 young quarterbacks, well, Stidham's in now, but if it was Bo Nix, they could possibly go to the Super Bowl. And I think that's where the league is going as well, where they're saying, let's start marketing these stars because that's the new generation coming up as well.
Yeah.
And real quick, you mentioned Mahomes and Jaden Daniels. To your point, Larry, the 3 things you always look for is strength of schedule, health, and one-score games, right? Like last year, we kept talking about, Chiefs are 11-0 in one-score games. What happens this year? They're 1-8. So you don't get that PI call that you got last year that gave you first and goal. They don't give it to you this time. They don't call that holding. The fumble that Drake May had, they didn't recover those 2. So Chicago, I'd be concerned if I'm a Bears fan, and I don't want to shit on their parade because they just had a magical season, but it's just something to keep in mind. Detroit, the same thing, right? There's always regression where if you do so well in one-score games, you can't bank on we went 8-1 in one-score games last year. Maybe you go 4-4, and that's the difference from 12-5 to 8-9. Now you're not in the playoffs, so it's just something to keep in mind too. And like you said, Jaden Daniels last year, the Commanders, amazing in one-score games. Mahomes and the Chiefs, so just something to monitor for moving forward.
Yeah, I'm gonna claim it now. I'm gonna just be optimistic for the Bears because I just feel like you couldn't have predicted anything that would have happened this season, and I feel like it'll be the same next season just because we've seen just a shift in a lot of ways, and even coaches who have been with teams for multiple years, being fired and shifted around. I just feel like next year is going to be a good year because everybody is obviously back and we're going to kind of see the landscape of where things go. So I would still be optimistic. And I know you're saying they could prepare, but you literally can't prepare to a certain extent for what could happen. So.
What year is this for Caleb? Was this his 3rd year?
Nah, year 2.
Yeah.
Okay, year 2. Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing too, to your point, they'll be able to spend, I think they have the 5th highest cap space because he's on a rookie contract.
Yeah.
So they'll be able to bring in some big names.
Yeah, which is crazy.
And to be totally honest with you, that they told the coach when he got there, we can't spend a bunch of money on defense, even though their defense look decent, because we have to put some things to protect Kalen and have some stuff on offense. So he didn't have a bunch of money to even spend on defense.
Yeah. Okay. So last thing before we wrap, we got the Atlanta Falcons. They hired Kevin Stefanski as their new head coach. We know he was previously the coach for the Browns. A lot of mixed feelings on this, but Nick, what are your feelings, and do you think that he's a good fit for the Falcons?
I think he's a great fit. I actually, before Harbaugh got let go, that's who I wanted the Giants to sign. I think he's a really good offensive mind. He was in Minnesota the year that they went to the NFC title game. He had Case Keenum be like a competent starter. I think the way it played out in Cleveland the last like 2-3 months with, his dynamic with Shador and Dylan Gabriel and how he handled that, I think that soured a lot of people. But, he's won Coach of the Year twice. Joe Flacco led them to the playoffs, and he was on the couch. And then he kind of like, I don't want to say revitalized Baker's career, but, he did make the playoffs with Baker also. And that was the last time that Cleveland had made the playoffs. I think prior to that, it was like a decade plus. So I think he's a really good offensive mind. And I think Atlanta that's a team, if they could get their hands on a quarterback, like that would be a sick destination for a Lamar. Lamar going over there with the weapons that they have. I know you've been hyping up Drake London Cam for a minute now. He's a hell of a receiver. Nah. I can't fuck with you if you have 9 season-ending injuries before, I never would have drafted him because he tore his ACL 3 times, had an Achilles, and then, what happens this year? He hurts his knee. Kirk Cousins, you want to go into next year with him, he's going to be 37, 38, and it's like, all right, he did play better the second half of the year when he came in a year after, the Achilles tear. But they need a fresh start down there. But they got Bijan. If they bring back Kyle Pitts, I think the defense is young enough. And that division, not for nothing, like Carolina, they was, Mase always talks about, they were selling tickets for 50 cents. And then they won the division. It's like, that division is not that crazy. What's Tampa going to look like? So I like that move.
Sorry. Go ahead, Cam.
You could forget about getting Lamar Jackson. If that's what you're thinking about, you could just forget about that shit. Baltimore did not get rid of Jim Harbaugh by accident. I don't think him and Lamar Jackson was on the same page, and they went with Lamar Jackson. Even when the owner did the press conference, they was like, yo, Lamar, you want to be part of this head coaching shit? Get the fuck up here, and let's pick a head coach, even though he said the decision is going to be his final decision. I don't got shit to say about the nigga until you come out the closet and tell us what the fuck happened with Shador. He's professional. He's not going to do it. Nick is correct. Great coach, 2-time coach of the year. All the stat Nick said is good. Should be a good fit. But what the fuck happened with Shador? Blame it on the owner. Blame it on general manager. Tell us what happened. Tell us you ain't have control. That situation was fucked up. It's going to linger with you until you win again. And when you win again, black people you go into a black-ass city. You go into a black city, it's niggered out there. So if you win, they may forgive you, but you got to stain on your record until you start winning again. We want to know what the fuck happened towards the end of the season with Shador. We want answers, nigga.
Facts.
Okay. And before we wrap, Nick, because you are a Giants fan, with Harbaugh as your coach, how far do you think y'all can go?
13-4. Look, we've seen, on a serious note, right? Yeah, all right.
He didn't even know how to react.
So hear me out. They lost a bunch of games by 1 score. Dart year 2. They're getting guys back healthier. They'll have money to spend. You see it with the Pats. You saw it with Denver. You saw it with the Bears. They got new coaches or a new quarterback in their second year, and they turned it around. That division is not going to be as crazy. I think Dallas declines. I think Philly's going to look a lot different. Washington, they're still an old team, even though they're going to get Daniels back. Yeah, I'm thinking 13-4, MVP for Dart. I'm thinking craziness.
Wrap it up if you want.
Giants fans,
crazy, my nigga.
Let us know how you feel.
Nah, I'm actually really optimistic about my teams,
but
bro.
You say this every year, Nick. We're going to go 13-4.
Not with the Giants.
You said this year I was making the playoffs. You said that before the season started.
Nah, I said that when they put Dart in, but then when they when they
Said
lost.
it before the season
Nah, when they lost to
started.
Denver, you invited me back on the show when my team was down bad and we had a heartbreak, and you're like, "Yeah, you could come on the show and tell us how you feel." That's when I changed my tune. But I never said that before the season. But yeah, next year they're gonna be all right. You'll have the Giants hat on. I know.
I got a Giants chain I haven't worn in years, so.
You'll bring it out. I'll give it by Halloween.
Giants fan, let us know how y'all feeling in the comments down below. But Nick, thanks for joining us today. This
Thank
was
you for
a
having me.
fun show. But that is all the time that we have for today. Thank y'all for watching. And as always, it is what it is.